everybody. Welcome to the show. Today we have Shawn Studer here, the professional plant guy over here. You're going to learn things that you didn't know you needed to know, but it'll take you well into the future, improve your health, all that good stuff. So,
cool.
So, let's get a little background on what you do and what you offer to the world, because essentially your knowledge is something I know nothing about. So, what's your background?
How did I get started? Well, it was really just starting in my landscape using organic practices. And when I moved back to Dallas in 2000, I really learned from a guy there in Dallas. He was on the radio. He's actually heard around the country in quite a few different markets.
Yeah.
And he's just extremely knowledgeable. He's probably the biggest promoter of organics in the country.
Okay.
And I just became so interested in learning about organic practices and use the organic program, and I applied it to my landscape, and I saw the results. You know, I never have liked the idea of using chemicals or putting any kind of chemicals on my landscape.
Sure.
So I just started there, and I just, I started doing it for a while, and it took me quite a while to realize that was my passion.
Yeah.
You know,
oh,
my
that's
neighbors
cool.
could have told you it was my
Fall
passion,
into
but
your passion.
I kept hearing, you need to find your passion. And I don't know what my passion is.
Surprise, surprise. Here
Yeah,
it is.
so I finally realized, wait, this is my passion.
And your skill set.
Right.
Very
And now
cool.
it's my mission.
There you go. And educational facet also, not just being good at something, but sharing it.
Absolutely.
And just to get you guys into the content right away, we have a video for you to give a little bit of a breakdown of what we'll be talking about today. So this is a video from your website.
Right.
Mindbodyandsoil.com.
Actually, it's bodymindandsoil.com.
Body, mind, and soil. There's my memory. I need more nutrients. Sorry, you guys. All right, so we're going to check in with that and get right back to you.
The Filter of Eden is a filter for all outdoor life. When Shawn and I first came up with the idea a couple years ago, it was intended for organic home vegetable gardens. What we realized 2 years later and several happy 100 customers is that this is the filter for all outdoor living. Recent studies show that household domestic pets are getting sicker faster, especially in the last 10 years. Giving them tap water is just one of the reasons that are causing dis-ease in our pets' bodies, such as bladder infections, kidney stones, colic, and other digestive disorders. The Filter of Eden is your solution for your healthy pets as well as your gardens, your pools, and fountains. Removing the ammonia and other toxic chemicals from your tap water, your pets will stay healthy. This Filter of Eden is also perfect for pools, especially if you're a conscious consumer and have already switched over to using an ozone, colloidal, or saline pool in your home. Now, if you're a beachgoer or a surfer, it's also a great way to use filtered water to clean off your gear, your surfboard, and all your beach equipment, including your wet pets from the beach. It's also perfect for fountains and decorative ponds, so they'll help to keep the pipelines much cleaner and prevent scaling. What we've also found are great uses for the Filter of Eden is for RVs, buses, trailers, and mobile homes if you have one of those. Whatever your outdoor needs are for filtered water, the Filter of Eden is your solution. This is Anna Naturalista reminding you to take care of your body, mind, and soil. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, and our website to download your free ebook of Gardening the Natural Way.
This is something you don't really dissect what's in your water. It's the clearest substance we know, right?
Right.
Never thought about drinking the water I swim in a pool setting. So it's about building awareness, you guys. And this is something that whatever filters into your plants, or whatever filters into your soil filters into your plants, whatever you put into your body filters into your body and affects you on a large scale, long term. How many meals do you eat? 3? It's 3 times as important as what you're doing right now. So we need to make some changes because it's a lifestyle issue, right?
It is, and it's the reason that product, that idea I came up with that product, is what launched Body, Mind, and Soil.
Okay.
And from that, we got into more doing organic landscaping and installing raised bed organic vegetable gardens. So it's everything around organic practices, I should say.
Okay.
And
so that's a really specific item that people wouldn't even think to use, because people have filters on your faucet at home,
Right.
and it's just as relevant and important in the context of your hose that you're like watering your own personal garden with, or
Right.
like in the context of that video, feeding your pets. Kind of important. You love them, take care of them. Take care of yourself.
You drink
as well.
filtered water, so should your pets.
Right.
You know.
I know, it's a good point. And what are some of the things that this product actually does?
Well, the reason I came up with it in the first place was to protect the soil biology, because we put chlorine in the water to kill bacteria. Well, in our soil we have good bacteria we call microbes, and it's those microbes, which is part of the soil biology, that help break down the nutrients into a form the plant roots can absorb and use. So when you're dumping a lot of chlorinated water on that good soil, you're actually killing the life of that soil. And so by removing that chlorine and chloramines, which this filter does, it helps protect that soil biology. So it makes the soil healthier, and when you have healthier soil, you're going to have healthier plants.
Right.
Well, yeah, you know, if you're growing your own vegetables, right, the reason a lot of people are doing that now is because they're becoming more aware of the food supply and the problems we're having in our food supply. And so by growing your own vegetables, you're not going to grow anything you can't buy anything that's fresher, more nutrient dense, safer than what you can do when you buy your own, and better tasting on top of that.
Yeah.
So by protecting that soil, the soil biology, you're going to have better plants. They're going to grow better, they're going to produce better, and you have less problems. Because the thing is, when you have pests and disease that are attacking plants, they're doing so because the plants are weak. And pests and disease are just Mother Nature's cleanup crew coming in to take out weak plants.
Okay.
So the soil, right, because the soil is the immune system of the plants and the trees. So by taking care of that immune system, just like in our bodies, we help stave off diseases and any kind of sicknesses that we get. Well, the same thing can happen in the plant kingdom.
So you need to make sure your plants are strong, so what you're putting into your body is nutrient oriented and not deficient.
Right.
Yeah, because it's killing, like the pesticides are killing it, and then the chlorine in the water. And everything.
Well, yeah, when they're using pesticides and herbicides, it's the thing, when they spray a plant, a food crop, with these pesticides and herbicides, then they're feeding it to us. We're eating that.
Right.
And you kill a lot of insects with the pesticides. The problem with using pesticides is they're not discriminate. They kill all the insects. So you have, in Mother Nature's perfect system, she has beneficial insects that are predator insects that feed on the pest bugs. And when you kill the beneficials, what happens is you have a sterile environment. And what's going to take hold is the pest bugs. There's a lot more of the pest bugs than there are the beneficials. Because the pests are actually a food supply for the beneficial insects.
Okay.
And since you kill all the beneficial, like ladybugs, praying mantises are two examples.
Really?
And they, if you kill those off, then the pest bugs are going to take over. And so chemicals the chemical sprays, the pesticides, the herbicides, they don't solve problems, they cause them.
Sure.
Which is by design.
And so that's why organic food is such a big trending thing right now.
Right.
How do you prove organic? I feel like people sometimes
That's
just
a
put
good
stickers
question.
on
You
things
can't.
these days.
Because Big Ag has been
Caught
able to
on,
water.
essentially.
They've watered down the regulations on what you can call organic.
Oh,
So
man,
they can
I
keep
didn't think of
spraying
that.
some pesticides and still call it organic. And unfortunately, the Big Ag has got their hand in that. They own the FDA and the other regulatory agencies anyway.
Yeah.
So the best solution is to grow your own.
Sure.
Like I said, you're not going to be able to find anything that's more nutritious, more nutrient dense, fresher, and better tasting and safer than to grow your own.
Well, I think sometimes the intimidation in doing your own thing is, am I going to do it right? What
Right.
does it really require?
Yeah.
And what's the maintenance plan like? But ultimately, it takes you opening a book sometimes, or getting to know this gentleman, or having
Right.
him do it for you to start you off. And then what happens is you're starting a healthy habit instead of just taking what you're given from these companies that deliver food with chemicals in it that really hurt you long term. It's just like the concept of taking a pill to cure something that you never would have needed to cure if you were eating healthy in the first place. So it's trading in something for
It's
something that's better for you.
It's like preventative medicine.
Right.
You're taking a preventative approach. The less amount of toxins that you're putting in your body,
Yeah.
and by feeding yourself very nutrient dense vegetables that you grow your own, it's going to help the body eliminate any toxins that you do take in, which is hard to avoid anyway.
Okay.
But the thing about gardening too, with growing your own vegetables, most people are too scared to get started because you don't know where to start. How do I get started? What,
There's personal responsibility to do it right. Not killing things,
right, and a lot of people they say I have a brown thumb. Well,
yeah.
we know how to turn your brown thumbs green.
And you actually have an ebook that kind of covers this context.
I do. How to get started from scratch and do a step-by-step approach. How to start and grow a vegetable garden, and the subtitle is How to Turn Your Brown Thumbs Green.
So is there a chapter in there on how to revive some plants? If they're already brown?
Well, we had not in that book, but we do have a garden rescue program. For people who may have started a garden and not knowing really how to do it, and things didn't work out well. So I'm actually going to be writing an ebook. I'm going to be writing a report on how to rescue your own garden. But that's a service we also provide. Because sometimes I had a client recently that they moved into a new house, it's an existing home, and it has some existing raised beds there that hadn't been worked on in a while. And so I came in, added some good soil, added good amendments and fertilizers, and planted, and now it's thriving. So we can rescue the garden, as long as you have...
That's good news.
Right, as long as there's nothing toxic that's been done to it, then we can rescue it.
So the first step could be this product which purifies your output, what you're putting into your plants now. But if you don't have a garden to start with, you can help in that regard. Right. If you want to get started, well, we can do any size, any scale. How many raised beds you want. We do raised bed organic vegetable gardens. And we can build them custom size to your needs, the size, the number of beds you want. And what we do is we come in, we build the beds, we put in the soil, we put in the amendments and the fertilizers, we plant the plants for you, hook up the irrigation, we get you all set up. And then all you have to do is learn how to maintain, which I can help you with. I'm going to be writing also an ebook on how to maintain your garden. Very good.
So and you always have access to me if we install that for you to phone or email.
Yeah, because I have questions throughout the process.
And you're always going to have problems with diseases or pests. You're going to have that, but there's always an organic solution.
Okay. So one of the cool tidbits that I learned about a little bit earlier about these beds is kind of your relationship you develop with them. You take care of them, they take care of you. But you have a little seating rail, so I can see myself sitting there
exactly.
Watering the plants, getting involved, personal involvement. It's a good new hobby. It's a good new healthy habit. It's something you could do with people. And it's kind of like a social activity too, right?
You know what? And what I do is I encourage, and in my ebook I talk about this, encourage people how to get connected to their garden. Because what we've done studies that has shown how plants respond to our attention. That by giving them loving thoughts, they actually grow better. And the same thing as far as giving them negative thoughts, you can actually kill plants.
I need to work on that.
Right. So they've done the studies and the data is in, and it does work that way. And so by giving your attention to plants, they respond much better. And a lot of people who say, well, I have a brown thumb, and it's not that they're
it's a negative context to start with.
Yeah, they're not giving them negative thoughts. It's that they treat a plant like an inanimate object.
And it's a live thing.
Right. They put it on a table, give a little water, give a little fertilizer, and expect it to grow. And they never pay attention to it. And so it dies from lack of that attention, which is a nourishment to the plant. Let's think about this. This is something that came to me intuitively a few years ago, that if plants respond to our attention, maybe if you're growing your own vegetables and you're giving them a lot of attention through by feeding them right and just paying attention to them, talking to them, is a great way to do it too.
Sing to them.
Right. It works. Play nice music. But maybe those plants pick up on that attention, that energy that you're giving them, and give back to you the certain nourishments or nutrients that maybe your body is lacking that plants pick up on.
Yeah.
And so they're giving back to you what you give to them.
Well, there is a whole science behind that, right? With the right plants. It gives you a special oxygen. My brother gave me a whole lecture on this once upon a time.
We think about it. Plants, they take our carbon dioxide, which would be poisonous to us. They use that as a food source and give back to us oxygen, which is life-giving oxygen.
Right.
They give us their beauty, their aroma, the nourishment of their fruits and vegetables, the shade. Everything. All they do is give.
Sure.
But if you're dumping toxic chemicals on those plants, all they can give back to us is a toxic product. So by giving them the nourishment they need and feeding them, the good natural substances like organic fertilizers and amendments, they give back to us healthy fruits and vegetables.
Very cool. And one of the cool things that I learned about you and your company is that you give back to the community. And you actually just had a recent ongoing project, not done. It's like, this is a progress-oriented thing. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I donated a couple of raised beds to a local school that this woman had contacted me a couple months ago, and it was asking about, she was telling me about this project she wanted to do, this go and try and get some advice. I said, well, you know what, I have a couple of raised bed kits. Let me just donate those to you, and we'll come in. And they had it was a couple weeks ago. They had some Boy Scouts come in. They helped level the ground. There's some other guys came in. They helped me put it all together, brought in the soil and the amendments. They had donated all these different other materials were donated by some of the local businesses.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we put it all together and got it all planted. And then we're going to do a class in November where like 60 Girl Scouts are going to show up.
Oh,
and
that's
we're going to teach
awesome.
them how to plant. They're going to take home a little container with a seed.
Souvenirs are
so
good.
they can take it home and watch it grow from seed.
Very good.
That's the coolest thing. When you teach kids how to grow, how to plant a seed, and they watch it grow into a plant, into a vegetable they can eat. One thing is they're gonna get turned on to eating vegetables.
Sure.
But it's
Good point.
magical to them to do that. And that's something they'll always remember. They'll forget about it, a lot of stuff they learn in school, but they'll remember that.
That's true. Well, in school, they typically don't learn that. So all of a sudden, you're
Right.
bringing a new education structure that's really needed. I mean, people don't care about nutrition until you're hurting, and you feel like you
Right.
should
That's
have
a good
learned
point.
early. So
Right.
it's good that you're starting them young, and if a kid can do it, you guys.
Yeah, that's a great way you get the adults involved too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the
Good
kids will
bonding
want to learn how to
experience.
grow, and like I said, most people are just scared because they don't know how to get started, and that's how
Sure.
we can help them out. We can get them
Sure.
started and get
That's
them
true.
growing.
Wait, this is where you can see what we're talking about.
They'll be doing that for a long time. The benefit they're going to have is the healthy food they're going to learn how to eat,
Right.
and it changes your whole lifestyle. You'll start to become more educated about our food supply, which is a must right now, because it is a problem we have going on in the food supply.
Yeah, certainly. And one of the things that I personally relate to and why nutrition is so important is I'm a vegetarian, so people already assume you're malnutritioned. And I'm a bad vegetarian because I probably eat less vegetables than most of them.
Right.
Not because I don't want to, I just don't know. Like, I don't know what information to pull and what I should prioritize. It's not that information's not out there. It's a matter of personal responsibility. So I take that.
Right.
I'll take that hit and know that there are options out there. You don't have to just take what you're given, and you don't have to be in a lacking.
Right.
Thank God for you and teachers like you. And sometimes I just need hand holding for the most part.
Right.
Like, I want to
we all
see the
do.
visual demo. I'm a
We all
visual
do.
person.
Right.
So when you get involved with people, on what level do you get involved? Like, some people want to have a hands-off
Good question.
experience, or what?
Right, and some people, they don't know how to get started. Like I said, we can get them started. If it's rescuing a garden, they're going to need to learn how to maintain it after we do get them back on track. And so usually they're out there planting with me, and I'm talking to them. Okay, and then you'll need to do this, and plan on doing this next year. You'll need to add these ingredients to it. And then there's people who just don't want to take care of it. I will do that, not much, because it is time consuming, but they're going to pay for it.
Sure.
So if they want me to do
Yeah.
it, I'll do it. But they're going to pay for it. But my mission is I really want them to learn how to do it because it's your garden.
Teach a man to fish.
Right,
They'll
exactly.
eat for a lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's their garden. If it's your garden, you want to make it your garden because you're the one that's benefiting from it.
Right.
So
The personal experience. I'm sure you
Right.
want your favorite fruits in there,
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
so when you guys deliver or you set up the plants or the soil and everything, do people get to pick and choose what plants go in there?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you have
Right.
recommended things?
And it's going to be seasonal.
Oh,
what's
that's
in
true.
season
I
around
didn't
here?
think about that, yeah.
We're very fortunate here in Southern California that we can grow year round. And so it depends on the season and what's available. If they want to plant transplants, what's available in the nurseries. So
Okay.
there's quite a few different variables.
Okay.
So,
And I would say, as much as it seems like a hobby option or something like that, this really affects you on a personal level in so many ways, short-term and long-term. Like, I have bad memory, short-term memory and long-term memory. And if I ate well, I'm sure that would be benefited. Something I heard recently, which I really liked and could relate to it as well, is if you're depressed, you're probably malnutritioned. And if you're malnutrition, or what is it? Did I say that right?
if you're malnourished,
If you're malnourished, you're
you'll
probably
be
depressed.
And we have a lot of
See,
people-
this is what happens when you don't have
You need
any
to take coconut oil. That'll help.
Yeah.
No, we have a lot of overweight people in this country that are malnourished.
Yeah.
They eat and eat, but they're not getting any nutrients.
Yeah.
And so our bodies depend on those nutrients and minerals that our soils lack because of because of big farm, way the big ag has been farming for so long. They've depleted the soils of minerals.
Yeah.
And so, our bodies need those minerals and those nutrients to help detox any of the toxins in our bodies. So the more you can give your body these nutrient-dense vegetables that you grow, the better health you're going to have.
Right. And it's precautionary action.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
And
a
then
maintenance.
Well, and then I was going to say that they also the therapeutic value is so underestimated and not talked about in gardening. There's huge benefits that you get just from gardening that's going to help you out on the level of the mind.
And one of the things that I've heard you say before, which I love, is how gardens are a welcome mat to your neighbors.
I tell a lot of people, my clients, that if you put a garden in your front yard, it's like putting in a big welcome mat in your neighborhood. All of a sudden, the neighbors start coming over, and they start asking, "Oh, what are you growing there?" And you get to know neighbors that been there for 5 years that you never know.
But if you're missing
And-
some vegetables, you know who to.
Right, and the aesthetic value is really pleasing now. So I think we've turned that corner now where people are like, it's very acceptable to put gardens in your front yard now.
Yeah.
And you get to know the neighborhoods. We did this over at my friends over in Del Mar recently, and she knows all her neighbors now.
That's awesome.
It's really, really cool.
Something I'm really interested in, and I'm trying to push, actually, is community gardens.
Yes.
And, I mean, maybe someone's not ready to do it on a personal level, but I think it'd be really nice if our cities, communities, local establishments and everything started this trend, because all of a sudden it helps breed a sense of community.
Yes.
People
Absolutely.
people want to learn. You hear someone has a garden, they want to come over and see what's happening, how it happened, maybe even take it up themselves, because all of a sudden if you're hungry you can just pick something out of your backyard. And it's one of the things that brings people together in the sense of with the kitchen,
The community.
the kitchen environment.
Right. Now you think about where do people end up when you have a party at your house? They end up in the kitchen.
Right. So it's
food
more
connects
relevant than we
us.
think.
Right. Food does connect us.
Yeah.
And community gardens are great because you get to know people that have plots next to you and everybody's sharing their knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's a community garden, and we need to create more community.
I think
Here.
so. So if I could lure you into some of those projects, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. I'd love to.
You look at any place that is creating community, food's involved.
Okay,
Growing
very
food's
cool.
involved.
So with your company, do you have other people that help you kind of pull it all together?
Yeah.
Or are you the, okay.
I do have some other people that are helping out. That,
Okay.
sometimes I'll subcontract some stuff out, but yeah.
So what's your territory that you cover?
Mostly just in the San Diego area.
San Diego area?
I may do a little in the southern Orange County area.
Okay.
But
Definitely. So when people go to your website, if we can bring that up, what are some of the things that people can find on your website?
we have there's some free reports on, right now the state is offering a rebate program if you replace your lawn with drought tolerant plants. It's $2 a square foot they're offering, and
Oh, wow.
so it's a really good deal. If you have lawns that's using a lot of water, you can replace it with drought tolerant plants. You know, as long as you follow their guidelines, and get a rebate for that. So we also do that as part of
Okay.
our business too. We do that for our
Cool.
customers.
So we're talking about the outdoor plants. Is it something that people could do indoors at all? Like have a little indoor bed? Like I've always wanted to bring the outside in and the inside out.
Other than little herb gardens maybe on your windowsill.
I
and,
trade my mattress in. You can have my bed frame. We can make it happen.
You really need,
Oh.
most vegetables are going to require at least 6 hours of sunlight.
That's true.
So some
Maybe
do
that's where my
less, but
plants are going wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to have an area where they get enough sun,
Okay,
and you're not next to a tree where the tree roots will get in.
that's true.
No, but yeah,
So, yeah, there are
We can help you with
competitive
that.
components.
there are.
There are complications, but there are answers for these things.
Right.
Thank goodness. Very good. Well, you're making me hungry right now. I think we're going to go have to make a meal out of this. But I hope you guys got a little bit of information, insight into what he does and how he can help you, and mobile services, maintenance services, all that good stuff. Taking care of your water and your soil and your plants and your body in the end. So I think it's an investment you can afford to make. Learn more. We have more coming soon, you guys. This is just the beginning. So thank you very much, Shawn.
Thank you for having me.
Great.